Welcome to Impossible Coin. I'm Brian Cartwright, and apparently I'm broken. Hopefully, keeping track of where my warranty card is Rocky Hardy.
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that, sorry. But hey, everyone.
I hope that she still has the original receipt, Tegan Somerset.
I don't have the original receipt, but I do have the warranty card, because I saved the box.
Thank Christ.
Oh, no, I have the receipt. That's fine.
Yeah, you have the receipt, I have the box.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, we got you covered.
Okay, so it's like the gift of the Magi, but not. All right.
Right, exactly. It's the gift of the Magi, but it's the gift of the two people who live in different states and can't actually do anything.
The gift of the GameStop.
Yeah.
That means that we get like $3 from me, and then I just...
No, that's only if we return you. We're getting you repaired or whatever, so like we'll actually get full cost.
Right.
They're going to try and buff me out. They're going to be like, we can put him in the disc buffer, and it's not going to work.
Oh no, the disc buffer doesn't exist anymore, dude. Not in store.
No more disc buffing service?
No, you gotta ship them back, and even then we take it in as defective and replace it with a new pre-owned game or whatever.
Well, that's kind of hilarious.
I say we like I work there. I haven't worked there in a year.
Well, Tegan, to be fair, I definitely have days where I will use the word we to describe PayPal or FedEx.
Yeah, it's like the royal we.
It's one of those things where, like, I think that you have enough time in the trenches, it gets ingrained into your identity. Like, though I technically worked for the same company as you, GameStop, and I did work for it while it had the GameStop identity at one point. The we, I feel, is definitely related to the Babbage's identity. It's like, like, I'll be part of Babbage's forever. I worked at GameStop. Like, that's how it is.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense, actually.
Yep. So, I guess we got a whole bunch of shit to talk about this week.
Oh, yeah.
I was able to make a thing stop happening, which is Tegan is not going to Bernie Sanders meme me anymore.
Woo!
It's true. It's true. She can no longer be like, once again, I'm asking you to download Among Us. Because not only did I download Among Us, I played Among Us.
Yeah!
It's true.
What did you think?
I became a Badstronaut man. So, it was really fun. And the first two games featured, I guess, exactly what I thought would happen, which is I was murdered by my co-host. I was murdered.
You were murdered by Rocky.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't actually have a choice, if we're being honest.
You did have a choice. I would have looked the other way.
Tiki, you murdered me the second time. Like, don't try to think you're getting off here.
Did I?
Yes.
I don't remember murdering you.
No, I think it was part of a double kill, but like Tegan didn't literally murder you. Like, I think it was June, actually.
Yeah, I think I murdered somebody else.
No, Tegan murdered me, and then June murdered...
Yeah, that's what happened. Yes. I did not murder you. I was a good noodle. I did not kill my dad. I did kill Gata, but I did not kill my dad.
The first two games, like, basically what I did was, like, we were in this map, which was, like, a space station place. I just ran to the left because I had no idea what the better to do. And I was like, fuck it, I'm running to the left. And I go to the left, and I'm like, I guess this is an engine room. I'll just hang a left, and I'll just go, south on the map, see what's down here. And in both runs, I got murdered in front of this. I got murked in front of the same area. It's like, all right.
Yeah, insecurity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The irony.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, well. And I'm like, I realize that, like, I am an easy, fresh target because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Isn't that right, Rocky?
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that I liked was, like, once it started, like, clicking as a gaming experience was when it was not my first imposter run, because my first imposter run was also, like, kind of, like, silly and frustrating. Because I was like, what the fuck am I? What do I do? And, like, the first imposter run, I'm literally just, like, bouncing around from vent to vent, going, like, how do I even get out of the vents? Like,
that was funny.
I was like, I don't understand. And I'm just like, bounce, 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 bounce. Like, do I have to click on the vent? I'm like, oh, I guess I gotta click on the vent. And that run, apparently, yeah, that was the run. I think I killed Tegan. Yes, I killed Tegan on that run. And I killed Tegan. Apparently, this map had, like these shitty limited cameras. And, like, I managed to, like, murk Tegan right in front of one of the shitty limited cameras. I'm like,
yep.
Congratulations to me, I'm an idiot. And
I laughed so hard when you killed me. I was like, good job, Brian, but the camera's on.
I guess for me, some things that were like big breakthrough moments was there was a time that we were in there, and this person kept on following me, and I was like, oh no, this person's obviously a bad murder person, and they want to kill me. And then we went to one of the vote someone into the lava votes, and that person said, no, I'm not following you to kill you, I'm following you to help you.
Oh yeah, because before the match started, Essie was saying, hey Brian, I know you don't get how security works, just stick with me and I'll show you the cameras. And she wrote like 3 messages, but Brian didn't respond to any of them because Brian doesn't read text chats. And so the first 3 rounds of that game, he was being followed by Essie, who's trying to corral him to security, and Brian's just running for his life because he didn't know what was going on.
And I gotta tell you, even though I was wrong, it created this wonderful sense of dramatic tension that was really, really fun. Where I was certain of someone's guilt in the moment, and just terrified for my little silly astronaut life. And I was like, yeah, just running. So then it created this buddy system where Essie and I knew that logically we couldn't be the killers, because I had spent 3 rounds running from Essie, and Essie had spent 3 rounds chasing me, so we knew what each other had been doing. We're like, okay, well, obviously you couldn't be it, because you have occupied all my time.
Right.
And, following that, I, got some, helpful kind of, follow-along sessions. We're just, getting used to the idea of, the cartography of the map, which was helpful. And, learning to read just the visual signals that are placed along the map for navigation, which was really cool. So that was the first big click aha moment. The next big click aha moment was, and I know this is going to sound dumb, guys, was accomplishing my first task.
Yay!
Where I was I need to go to the lab and I need to, check the temperature, and I did it. And that was which kind of directly fed into this moment where I realized that because of how new I was to this, that I was able to say things during the voting sequences with this air of sincerity that kind of pushed away people looking at me as the bad guy.
Right.
Or I had to go in the thing, and I had to check the temperature, and people were oh, okay, he's not the guy. Now, I wasn't the guy that time, but then I was the bad guy in the next game. And when we went into a voting sequence, I launched into this thing about how oh, well, it's not Rocky because his voice isn't going up like a question. And I still had that I guess that air of above suspicion that some people were giving me. I was like, this is fun. Bullshitting around is fun. It's fun to be a bullshitter.
It is very fun to be a bullshitter.
Yeah. And one of the other things I really, really like about it is the very variable set of rules that you can attribute to the space and attribute to the mechanics, where you could really make the multiplayer experience your own. And in that way, it reminds me of some of my favorite multiplayer games of all time, like Towerfall or GoldenEye, where when you have all of the rule sets unlocked, you can literally just make the game as like silly or as serious as you want, and then just go. And then it has this like added segment which very much like plays like, you know, Munchausen or, you know, Town of Salem, where you're just like sitting there lying or just believing that everyone else is a liar. And it's like, man, like it's like, what if you took the rule expandability and the rule scalability of like GoldenEye or Towerfall, and then layered on top of it Munchausen or Town of Salem? And I'm like, it's very easy to see how this has become a gigantic phenomenon, which was super duper fun. So like, I was way into it. Thumbs up, multiple thumbs up. So yes, thank you, Tegan. I downloaded it. I'm gonna watch some more of that volleyball show.
Yay!
And I guarantee you, I will have more of that volleyball show watched before you ever touch anything wrestling related. Because you're a coward.
But she's
you're
been
a fucking coward.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, you're definitely not wrong. And it's not because I'm a coward, it's because I'm lazy. You know.
Oh, Tegan,
that's how it goes.
Tegan, yeah. No one said you can't be both.
Wooed. Rocky, Brian's being mean to me.
Yeah, I mean, that just sounds like Brian. I mean, Tegan, if you want to watch some wrestling, we can watch some wrestling. It's not a hard thing to do.
It's so hard. It's impossible.
Brian, I'm glad that you're giving Haikyuu another shot. It's actually been like a cardinal sin that you haven't watched up until now, because we've been trying to give you the gospel, trying to put you on the game. You want to pretend that we're just messing with you. Like, we just can't look past this kid who's like upset that he's not tall.
Okay, I want to share something with the audience at home. There are times when we're not recording where these two people will talk for literally 37 years. I will file my taxes multiple times while they're fucking going. Right? They'll be like, what's the name of the short kid?
Shoyo? Hinata?
Like, I can't believe the Shoyo took a shit. They're definitely not going to nationals. Like, well, okay, what they could do is they could flash forward in time, and they could be like, look, they lost at nationals, and they kind of like build the story to where the time he has to take a shit again, and I'll just be like, I can't even fuck. And it's weird. There's a point where enthusiasm for a thing will go so far around the bend as to all of a sudden become off-putting, and it's hard to explain.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I understand.
Or you're like, Jesus Christ, this is anime? Question mark. You know?
No, it's just Haikyuu.
Yeah, you're like, fucking God. Like, you know, it's
as
like,
long as you don't talk to anyone about Goku or anything, I think you'll be alright.
It's like, do I have to get fucking sweater? Like, okay. And like, the thing is that, like, as we have reviewed at length on this show, like, Brian doesn't have like a completely absent background in anime, but there's like shit that like fucking like anime culture that I just don't fucking get. And like, you know, and when you guys get completely up your own ass about Haikyuu, I'm like, God damn, you know, maybe it's best to be over here. But no, like, I'm gonna watch the fucking short kid show and see how it goes.
Once again, like, I mean, he's not even. I'm willing to say he's not even really the main character, if we're being honest. Like, it's
who's the main character?
I think it's an ensemble cast. Like, I mean, the closest thing is still like, you know, Hinata and like Kageyama. Like, they both have equal claim to that title, I guess.
Right.
Okay, that's fair.
But it's more of an ensemble cast than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to introduce you to these good boys who do donate a lot of serotonin to our lives.
It's true.
That's it.
They do good stuff. Good for them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Before we move on from Among Us, apparently, like, the group found out how dangerous Tegan can actually be as an imposter. And so, I'm warning y'all, if y'all play Among Us with Tegan, be on your toes.
Oh no.
She does not slack.
What ended up happening was they just started killing me first.
Yeah, you got the June
I'm too
treatment,
powerful as a crewmate. I'm too dangerous as an imposter. Just kill me first or vote me off. It doesn't matter. Get me out of there.
I was not joking or playing when we were, you know, like in a voting segment, and I said that like Tegan should be treated with caution because she's not talking.
The thing is, like, up until that point in previous week's games, I was like, well, I'm just going to do what Rocky does and hang back unless I'm specifically addressed for something.
Right.
And then literally as soon as you came into the mix, that fucked up that plan, because it didn't matter if I was an imposter or a crewmate. If you thought I wasn't talking enough, I knew you were going to leverage that against me. So the first time I was like, all right, now I have to completely change my strategy. Hang on. Threw off my groove.
Also, like, I mean, it barely matters if you kill Tegan if she isn't the imposter anyways, because she's one of the best, like, support imposters on the game.
You think so?
Yeah.
Aw, we've never been imposter together, though.
No, we've actually never been imposter together. It's too powerful. They're not ready, Tegan.
One day. The imposter will coin.
As we were playing, one of the things I really, really enjoyed, and we didn't really get a chance to do it because, like, we were having issues with ping at the end, was, like, there were, like, again, the rules are so scalable. The rules are so scalable. You can really make that game whatever you want. And, like, I mentioned to the group at large, like, we don't talk during, while we're running around. And they're like, well, here are the reasons that we don't talk while we're running around. But the thing is that the more people talked about it, the more they consider just, like, various rule sets. They're like, but we could do X, Y, and Z, which would mean that we would talk while we're running around. We're like, so let's do that. But then we realized that the entire world was trying to play Among Us at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so, like, that was just unfortunately out. But, like, yeah, like, what a cool game. What a cool game.
I'm glad you liked it. And now hopefully whenever your work thing wants to do an impossible or an imposter game, you'll be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have a slight advantage.
Yeah. Very, very, very neat. Now, something I did not find out, and I'm curious about, is whether or not the game has cross-play, the PC and iOS and Android versions.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So, like, conceivably, somebody could just fire up Discord and then run this game on their phone.
Yes.
That's really neat.
I do believe you still have to pay if you don't want ads on your phone for it, because I don't think Steam will, like, hook up with your iOS or Android library. What do I know? But yeah, like, people on the phone can play with people on the computer, and you can typically tell who's on the phone and who's on the computer because people on the phone don't walk as smoothly as people on the computer because they have to, like, touch and drag, sort of.
Right.
It's very, very obvious, like, looking at, like, the mouse only, because I tried to be mouse only at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, this is designed for a touch interface.
Yeah, and that's why I told you, like, if you're playing on your computer, like, WASD is the way to go.
But I was like, this would be very smooth if I was able to, like, if it was a finger on a screen,
mm-hmm.
It would be a very smooth interface. It's just, like, trying to control it where you're, like, dragging, like, a mouse around to make sure that your little caballero is moving in the right direction is the goofy part. Like, it's like, okay. But the WASD, like also kudos to them because so many games don't do this. Like, WASD works, but, like, if you're not necessarily somebody who does a lot of PC gaming and you're somebody who primarily does console gaming, for movement, your fingers don't want to move toward WASD, they want to move toward arrow keys. And I'm like, please, God. And I put my hands on the arrow keys and they work too.
Yep.
And I was like, that's smart. That's good ergonomics. That's knowing that, like, you're going to have a significant segment of your population who isn't necessarily PC gaming background and, like, just accommodating what is going to be their natural instincts. So yeah, I can't wait to get back in there and looking forward to a 3 imposter game where hopefully the whole impossible coin can all be evil together.
Also, 3 imposter games are fucking terrifying. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Yep. And we can all be malevolent trash bags, and it'll be a good time.
You can end the game in 2 rounds, technically, right?
Yeah, if you're good enough.
Yeah.
You can end the game in 1 round if you're fast.
Wait, really? With 3 imposters? Oh, right,
Yeah.
because if they don't report before, like, the first triple kill.
Yeah, if they don't see the first, your first set of bodies, then whoop.
Yeah. Jesus.
There you go.
Terrifying. Okay, I want to talk about another game that's a bit of a phenomenon. I'm still feeling it out. I've been playing Genshin Impact on PS4, not like PC or anything.
You gotta give me your user ID so that we can play.
For sure. For the people who don't know what I'm talking about, this is anime Breath of the Wild. That's what's going on.
It is anime Breath of the Wild. It's anime Breath of the Wild.
It's free to play on anything. And so, like, they do microtransactions. While there technically are, like, energy systems, they don't really, like, impact your pace of play unless you're grinding. And grinding isn't the main experience because you're playing anime Breath of the Wild. It's more about exploration and, like, seeing if you can get to certain places, like climbing, gliding, and like fighting stuff. And there's story quests too, and stuff like that. And the big thing is that like none of the characters are Link. That's the big thing. And there isn't a single character, as far as I can tell, that is as versatile or like well-rounded as Link is. But it means that every character that you play, which are these essentially like random anime characters, all have like a specific angularness to them that I feel like deserves a meaningful amount of attention. Like, if I had to compare it to something, I think it would be more like the way that you'd switch weapons in, like, a Souls-like. That's how, like, the characters feel. Except you can do that on the fly as quickly as you could in a Souls-like by just pressing a D-pad direction. And so, like, you can switch to someone who's, like, wielding a claymore, to someone who's, like, casting spells, to someone who's, like, fighting with a longsword or fighting with a bow and arrow and stuff like that. And there are like slight differences between them, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there's a huge gain in like grabbing particular ones for the most part. I'm still experimenting. I did realize like now I understand why that girl fucking creamed herself when she got Diluc, because like Diluc is fucking wild.
Diluc is so good.
Jesus Christ.
Plus, he's handsome.
He's extremely beachy, but you know, like people are into that. And I've gotten past like the first like major story thing, which is like basically repelling a dragon from the town, purifying it so it's no longer destructive. And that was cool. I haven't stepped into the second area, which as far as I can tell is like the extent of the current content.
Yeah, there's only the 2 towns right now.
Yeah.
Or the 2 like village. I don't know. The big,
I guess is what I call them.
There's plenty of room to wander around. It doesn't feel compact.
That's another thing. Like, there are only 2 major cities, for sure. But, like, because of, like, how large the map actually is, despite them, in addition to, like, the various interactions that you have with any, like, piece of space, where you, like, get up somewhere high and glide across it, if you climb up a, like, mountainside or anything like that, or, like, you just simply walk around or swim, which is all really fucking fluid. And that's a cross-platform. Like, I've messed around a little bit with it on mobile, but I've mostly been playing on PS4. And it feels like a game that it's not a killer app. That's not what I'd say. Like, I'm not telling people go and play Genshin Impact right now. But, like, I really wish this game had been around, like, a long time ago. Like, if this had come out, like, in the early 2000s, this could have killed WoW. You know? And, like, it's also, like, the way the game is, because it's technically an MMO, I suppose, but it is very much a single-player experience, and, like, I mean that in the most, like, granular sense. Like, you're in a single world by yourself and a bunch of NPCs. Technically, other people can come visit, but, like, you don't walk into a town and see, like, 70 nondescript beginner characters who had just logged in for the first time. Like, that's never the experience. Like, you're playing essentially in a world, an instance on your own. And that is really cool. The gacha thing, I haven't played with it a lot. I do know that it's a rabbit hole that may not be ultimately fulfilling, but that's not news. That's just gacha. So, you know.
Yeah, it's just gacha.
Like, be careful and whatnot. But the game itself is pretty solid. Like, when I run around and I am consistently curious about the things that can happen. Like, I walk around, I'll see enemies like, oh, they're guarding a treasure chest. Maybe I want to see what's inside it. Or, that's an enemy type I haven't seen before. And there is a very robust, like, element system that works in this game, where, like, elements in combination have various effects. A lot of them are really straightforward. Like, for example, fire and ice mixed together created an effect called Melt that makes your fire attacks, like, more effective. But if you use it on an enemy that's, like, primarily ice or whatever, it means they can't use their ice abilities anymore, and, like, their defenses are lowered, so you could just ram into them. And so that sounds really straightforward, but recently one of the things that I found out is that that also applies to, like, the environment itself. So, like, ice enemies have the ability, like, if they are bipedal or if they, like, are terrestrial generally. If they walk on water, the water freezes under their feet or whatever, or like their bodies if they're slimes, and they create terrain that they're able to walk on, and so are you. And if you fire fire at that, then like it melts the ice, and then they start to drown, and they take damage over that. But also there are like static things like mist flowers that like perpetually like fire out like ice around it in an interval. Which doesn't like directly freeze you. Like apparently you have to be wet first with water and then you can be frozen, which is also a thing that you can use against enemies with impunity, which is actually really fucking great. But mist flowers, if you fire something at them that's fire, they melt and then they become a collectible item that's usable for stuff. And like now I'm just like, well, what other shit can I like that's in the environment can I affect with my own elements and turn into stuff that I can use for other things? And like the game is full of like questions and interactions that are really interesting, and I'm having fun playing it. I don't think like, you know, I'm not electrified or ecstatic, you know, for the opportunity to play this video game, but it's pretty fucking cool, especially for something that was, once again, anime Breath of the Wild.
And also free.
And definitely free. If I had paid money for this, I'd probably feel differently about it.
Okay. And just a review, like I know that something that Tegan has previously said about this game.
Sure.
Brian, stay away because of the way it treats player time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rocky, would you concur with that assessment?
I have different opinions about it, the way that it uses time. But it's because I'm doing something specifically different that Tegan said that she wasn't, which is that I am consistently using my items to, like, level up characters and improve stuff.
Okay.
And, like, that gives me more access earlier. I haven't hit a wall or anything, and I still might. I have no idea. But, what I'll say is that the same way that a lot of free-to-play games work is that there are, like, competing progression systems. So there's, like, progression for, like, you as, like, an account, like someone that, like, is running the thing. It's called, like, an adventure rank. It controls the types of quests that you're able to undertake, the NPCs that you're able to, like, interact with, and, like, the spaces that you're able to enter. And then is a player or a character progression, which is, like, based on the characters that you get based on, like, playing the initial story, but also anything that you get through the gacha, or any characters that you get through the gacha. And their abilities, their levels, will both, depending on like where you are, can control how quickly you're able to move through content specifically. So like your account ranking or level or whatever is about access, and then like your player level thing is about like speed of like process. And then even more granularly, like your equipment, weapons and otherwise also have their own unique progression system that affects to a lesser extent your ability to progress through things. I still think that character level, in my experience so far, is more potent than like weapon level generally, but all of them require resources. And so managing those resources is a specific task. And while I don't think that the respecting players' time is 100% accurate, given my current experience, but I have definitely done certain things to counter that specifically, I do think that you wouldn't like it because of the need for you to learn things. Like, I think there is an incredible amount of information that the game doesn't necessarily expect you to learn, but learning it quickly makes everything easier.
Wait, I have a question.
Sure.
Am I giving off the impression that I don't like to learn things in games?
Specifically, you don't like. This was a list. It came up with Monster Hunter specifically. I don't want to learn a lot. I want to get started quickly, and I want to like not be stopped in the middle of what I'm playing.
Then I need to communicate better.
Okay.
I definitely don't have a problem with learning in a video game.
Sure.
What I have a problem with is, like, picture a video game as your dad in 1957 sitting beside a pool with a beer, smoking, and he's watching you as, like, a 3-year-old child sit beside the pool playing with a little, like, toy fire truck. Like, abba dabba dabba. And he just, like, he's, like, obviously, he's remote, he's emotionally distant, he's thinking about the time in Korea.
3-year-olds speak in complete sentences.
Please let me have my fun, Tegan.
Okay.
And he just like he stands up with his fucking buzz cut and his shitty white t-shirt, and he walks over to you and he says to you, 3-year-olds speaking complete sentences. And then he picks you up and he throws your ass in the pool, and he like looks to your mother, sips from his beer, and goes, he'll learn to swim, and walks away. I don't like when games teach you things that way.
Sure.
Yeah. I think that was my problem with the way Monster Hunter teaches players, is it's very much 1957 Pool Dad in the way it teaches. Like, it claims to not be through that shitty training area, where it's like, no, really, come in the shitty training area, we swear. And then, like, you do it, and you're like, you'll learn nothing here?
Well, the training... okay, I'm not going to defend Monster Hunter right now. I don't have time. I think that Genshin Impact does a lot of the same thing. Like, it'll teach you things. Like, when you run across a new enemy, or you come across a new status, the game will prompt you, hey, take a moment and step out of the action to piece together what just happened, or what is in front of you.
Right.
And you can do that, and I don't think...
And you can also reference that material later.
Right.
Okay.
But based on what I know about how you like interact with games, I don't think that's an enjoyable experience.
Right. Like, one of my favorite games of all time, Hitman, required me as a player to learn an impossibly large amount of information about, like, you know, NPC interactions, object interactions, like the distance that like sound carries. Like, it was a not small amount of information regarding like mechanics, character behavior, the whole fucking thing.
Sure.
But like, the way it delivered the learning was instructive in such a way as to like signpost, there is learning happening right now. And the segment of the game that was labeled training was not like offensively useless.
Okay. Now I have to defend Monster Hunter. Like, I think, like, the way that Monster Hunter trains is actually, like, not in the training area at all. Like, the training area is kind of, like, similar to a training area in, say, like, fighting games, where, like, it's just a space, it's a non-threatening space for you to try out new ideas, as opposed to learn the mechanics of the game.
And that's fair, Rocky, but and I think the thing is that, you know, like, even as an outsider to fighting games,
sure,
I understand that there's generally an area which, like, you know, players might refer to as like the lab, or, you know, like, it's just like an area where they're like, I'm going to go in here and fuck around and come up with some new combos and make $1 billion tequila. Like, you're just like, it's kind of a workshop. Like, I'm familiar with the idea of like a workshop, you know, like in a fighting game. And it's something which I think that a lot of folks who spend a lot of time with video games understand about the genre. Like, it is a thing that exists. But like, in a fighting game, like if I get a fighting game, like, I will like log in, and I'll look like, okay, where's the lab, and then where's the thing that teaches me this game. And like, even like Street Fighter V, for all of its like profound deficiencies upon launch, you know, like, had both. It had the area that you like sit around in, and also it had a training area. It was shitty, but it had a training area where it's just like, okay, and like, here's a quarter circle forward, and like, you know, that kind of thing. And like, where it you know, teaches you mechanic, like, it taught you like basic fundamentals for combos.
Right.
It was nowhere near as good as like the historically incredibly good training of Skullgirls, where like Skullgirls not just like teaches you like Skullgirls, it teaches you how fighting games work. Right. But Monster Hunter doesn't have the same benefit as fighting games, where there's like a cultural understanding that the training area is not a training area and is instead the lab.
Sure.
It doesn't have that benefit. And also, like, the way that Monster Hunter trains you is to have a very mean Tyrannosaurus Rex show up, punch you in the penis repeatedly, and then 1957 Dad shows up and throws you in the pool.
I think we can agree we had different experiences with Monster Hunter.
I also had a different experience with Monster Hunter, and it was it's not Rocky's experience, and it's not Brian's experience, so... Monster Hunter, there's some kind of experience there, depending on what kind of gamer you are.
It's true.
Yeah, but anyways, I don't think you'll like Genshin Impact anyway, Brian. But
I'm glad we both agree that Brian will not like Genshin Impact.
Right.
Cool. All right.
It's not against you, Brian. It's just, this is not your bag, and that's okay.
No, I get it. sometimes, like, things are not for folks. You know, it's a whole thing. Rocky, I see that you have been apexing.
Oh, yeah. There's a new map, a new character. It's not new, but it's fresh, is what I'd say. The new map, in comparison to the other two, King's Landing and the other one, I don't remember, is especially vertical, which seems kind of dumb to say, I feel like. Because, like, a lot of fights, for the most part, kind of take place sort of in a 2D space. I mean, sometimes you can be higher than other people, to be honest. Like, there were cliffs and whatnot. But most of the action kind of took place in person. Like, if someone was on a cliff shooting at you, you could usually find cover. And that would just be the end of that. Then, like, you'd have to move on to the next thing. Am I going to reposition? Are you going to reposition? Are you going to get jumped by someone else? Am I going to get jumped by someone else? And those are different questions to answer because, like, the initial threat is done. Like, they're higher than me. It's not a great idea if I shoot them from down here. And now, like, 80% of the map in the new area is either incredibly vertical or completely flat plains. So, like, you have, like, wide sweeping, like, grasslands throughout the area. And I guess you could fight on those, but it's not a good idea because if you're standing in any, like, one grassland, there's about 6 other places where people could just stand on a building and shoot at you, and you don't want to be there. Also, it's a lot bigger, and what they did is that they added vehicles very reminiscent of, like... Actually, they kind of remind me, like, the ghosts in Halo. You know, those little speeder things, but they're bigger.
Oh, okay.
And because they're bigger, like, you can fit a whole squad on them. So, like, the 3 of you can jump on. Like, 2 of you hang off the sides, and 1 of you's, like, driving. And you can, like, ride around the space and run and gun or whatever. I don't think there are any new guns, but they cycled some stuff out. And, like, it's pretty cool, but getting used to the space is usually the big thing. And the new character, in honor of how vertical the map is now, has, like, gravity well abilities, which, you know, come up in these types of games. And they have an ultimate that basically opens a black hole someplace and sucks people into it. And their standard ability just kind of, like, inverts gravity in, like, a small cylinder, so that you can, like, launch yourself up higher. So, like, movement is a lot easier with the new character, and it benefits your teammates. And so, like, it's consistent with, like, the Apex philosophy where, like, your abilities aren't designed for you to go off on your own and blow shit up, but to, like, make your team better. And so that's a cool thing, and I've been having fun messing around with that. And I'm not, like, great or anything. I'm still just doing my humble climb. But I've definitely seen some people pull off some really crazy shit, you know, dropping portals in places that make people fall into the abyss, basically, like, grappling hook around places that, like, break the gravity and send them into the moon. And, you know, I've been continually fucking with it. I'm having a great time. I think people should continue to play it, but, you know, the people who are playing Apex are going to continue playing Apex. It's just how that's going to go.
I feel like that feeds into talking about fucking Hearthstone.
Okay.
Because of the notion that people who play X are going to continue playing X. Kind of like, this community exists, like, we're not really dragging new souls in here. It's more about, like, who's in is in. And, like, on one hand, I really want to talk about, like, all of the new card interactions and how exciting the new expansion is and how much more robust it's made the play experience, all of the really wild fucking deck archetypes that have become possible. Like, it's kind of, like, hard to, like, stress the impact of this because, like, at best, you guys only know, like, Hearthstone from, like, a very great distance, only socially. But, like, with this new expansion, Control Rogue is possible.
That's pretty cool.
That's never been a thing before. So, like, there's all this, like, wild shit going on. And, like, the meta is super fun. Bunch of crazy things. Meanwhile, the Battle Pass. The things I felt last week definitely seem to be bearing fruit. Like, you guys remember offhand, like, what level I was in the Battle Pass?
You said 15.
Okay, 15. All right, then I am currently opening Hearthstone right now for the record. Mm-hmm. So that way we can get the official day of recording update on what level Brian is in the Battle Pass.
It is important for future historians.
It is. Like, somewhere 1,000 years from now, they're like, History's greatest monster was at what level on the battle pass on November the 14th? Wait, no.
You're gonna be history's greatest monster?
Already.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I am level 23 in the battle pass, effective today.
Okay.
And that is because I have already finished every daily I've been given in the intervening time, and I've also completed all of my weeklies. So dailies done, weeklies done. And the net result in gold for finishing all of my weeklies and all of my dailies, 300 gold, friends. That's it.
That's not great.
Given what I already know about this, I'm not especially worried right now.
I mean, I know that what they're basically saying is just just wait until you prestige the pass.
Right.
Yeah, and just Jesus Christ, basically what you're doing is you're holding the way people interact with this game hostage, because previously somebody could interact with the game very casually and still earn a decent amount of gold just by doing their dailies. But now basically what you're saying is that you have to do a whole month and a half of dailies in order for your dailies to start routinely giving you gold. Which is an effort to prop up their player base. It's an effort to say oh, we need more people playing all the time. So if we make it harder to get to the gold, then we'll have more people playing. Which is shitty, because the ethical answer to that is to figure out ways to boost player engagement and go find new players. Not take the players you already have, hold them hostage, and tell them no, you have to interact with this game differently and play a lot more in order to get to the goal. That sucks.
Do you actually have to play more?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the way it would work for me is that an expansion would come out.
Mm-hmm.
I would dump all the gold that I had earned since the last expansion.
Sure.
Which would be about between 3 to 4 months worth of gold.
You said about 6K before, I remember.
Yeah. And now I'm going to lose a full month worth of gold earning because I'm just trying to get through the pass.
Okay, that's the part I'm not sure about. I agree that you may be losing that time, and maybe that time's considered moot because you're not getting that gold. But once you prestige, you'll be making a lot more gold, and the time scaling that I'm thinking of right now, because you're on your second week of actually doing the battle pass, and maybe through 4 weeks of the content, 4 weeklies?
They give you 3 weeklies each week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically you did 1 week of weeklies and you got to level 15.
Yeah, I did 1 week of weeklies to get to level 15.
Right, and you did another week now, you're at 8, which is less. It's definitely true. But I'm trying to count the weeks, and that's 12, right? Maybe if it diminishes continuously.
They're also definitely increasing the XP required to go from level to level.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's just how levels work, right?
And part of the battle pass are XP boosts, but the XP boosts only kick in when you get to certain levels.
Sure.
Yeah, the 15% XP boost kicks in at level 30, and then there's a 20% XP boost that kicks in at level 45.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, you're damn near done with the battle pass. And I know that the idea is well, at that point, you've got that 20% boost, which will help you earn all that prestige gold. But honestly, unless I get to the next expansion with 6,000-ish gold, then I'm gonna call bullshit.
Right.
Also, the thing is that they've changed the mix of things that appear in dailies and weeklies. You'll get dailies that are play 3 games of Battlegrounds, and I'm I don't like Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds sucks.
Right, but
it is my least favorite mode. But I will now just go sit there and tolerate 3 games of Battlegrounds, because the rule is that if you're allowed to re-roll 1 daily a day, but if you re-roll it, the new daily you get will always be worth less XP.
Okay. My understanding of re-rolling may be a little different, but if that's how it works, because I do know that re-rolling dailies, when you do them, you actually get more gold. You can clear a daily and then re-roll it and then do it again, or do some sort of other thing for more gold. Is that not the case? Am I misunderstanding that?
Yeah, so like the way it works is like you'll get your daily, and like let's say your daily is play 3 games of Battlegrounds, and like they'll tell you that it's worth like 1,200 XP, and you're like, fuck, I really don't want to play Battlegrounds, and so you click the reroll button, so that way it gives you a different daily, and now it'll just be like something simple like win 3 games with any class, but that one's only worth like 900 XP.
Okay.
And so the rule they've set forth is that like you're allowed to reroll 1 daily per day, but if you do, the rerolled assignment will always be worth less XP. And so like that is designed to like corral players into populating less popular modes like Battlegrounds or Arena.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to play fucking Arena. If I wanted to play Arena, I'd be playing fucking Arena. Well, I don't want to play Battlegrounds, like, because like if I wanted to play Battlegrounds, I would go play fucking auto chess, because that's what Battlegrounds is. It's fucking auto chess. I'm playing Hearthstone because I want to play Hearthstone, and like Battlegrounds is auto chess clones that cropped up when like everybody had to build an auto chess, and it's just like it's not fun, pretty dull. I can't think of anything that would make me want to engage with it. Yeah. So, like, yeah, like, it's definitely changed the way I interact with the game, and the trouble is that because the Battle Pass has pissed off so many people, queue times have actually gone up, because people have seen the Battle Pass, they're like, fuck this, I'm going home. And so now, like, people are not playing as much during peak times, so, like, I'm actually having longer queue times, because people are, like, not playing, because they're pissed off. So, like, they've instituted this thing which piss people off, and this thing that was supposed to reduce queue times has increased queue times. So it's like, play modes you don't like while waiting longer to do so. Battle Pass.
Not ideal.
Doesn't sound like a good battle pass.
It does not. Now, like, Blizzard has said that, quote, tell me if you guys have heard this before. Tell me if you've heard this song. They're listening and hear the concerns around the Battle Pass and are open to adjusting it while the Battle Pass is live, and will reward players for their patience in being part of the Battle Pass experiment from the beginning.
I mean, I've heard a similar song.
Yeah, and as near as I can tell, like, the way it always works out is Todd Howard gives away your email address. Like, I don't know, like, it's always bad. The Activision Blizzard empire increasingly just feels like the Activision empire, and it just, like, it wears the eviscerated skin of the once mighty Blizzard.
Well, yeah, like Activision's bigger than Blizzard.
Yeah. Well, I am fucked. Feed me beans. Rocky, you are Fire Emblemming. I'm assuming that's what FE stands for. I think that's Shadows of Valentia. Is that remake of Fire Emblem 2?
No, fuck off. It's the Fire Emblem.
Why must I fuck off?
Because you're wrong, and you're like, what's the word? It's like playful, but like in a shitty way. I don't know what's the word.
That was not my intent, Rocky.
That's not what I said. Like I can't speak to your intent. I'm not in your head, Brian. That's not what I'm talking about. Oh my god, I can't remember the word. But Shadow of Valentia is a Fire Emblem game. Came out on the 3DS a couple years ago that I never actually had enough time to get into. But you know, since the 3DS is like cycling out, I like recently purchased it, and I was looking forward to it because it does a lot of the things that the GOAT Fire Emblems do, like having like extended progression, like they did in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. The difficulty is punishing, but in a good way. Like one of the things I really like about Fire Emblem is that it's difficult, so it challenges me to find like creative solutions to complex problems. But when I lose, I don't really feel like, oh, that was bullshit. I'm just like, oh, you know what, that makes sense. And I'm getting a lot of that progression again in a familiar format, and I'm having fun with it.
Fire Emblem's Echoes, Shadows of Valentia is a remake of the 1992 Famicom game Fire Emblem Gaiden, the second entry in the Fire Emblem series. Eat shit, Rocky. Fuck off. I swear to God, like, I come at you with a sincere question, and your response is, I don't know, fuck off.
Your questions aren't always sincere. Like, I was just being defensive.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Your questions aren't
And you're
always
like, you're
sincere.
being playful, but in a shitty way. And I'm like, man, fuck you.
You gonna act like you don't do that? Are you serious right now, Brian?
I'm just saying that, like, if you can't tell my social cues now, 4 years in, I'm dead to you.
Damn. Just understand, I'm not killing you in this situation.
I understand that.
Okay.
I'm killing myself with your hands.
That's not how
Oh
that
my
works.
God. Is that a suicide by murder, then?
I am both crewman and imposter.
Oh, that's just third imposter.
Yeah, that's just third imposter.
Third poster?
Third imposter.
Pasta chef?
Yes.
I am the pasta chef.
It's the imposta.
I am the pasta chef, destroyer of worlds. So, yes, Rocky, the remake of Fire Emblem 2. Damn. I'm over here now. I'm way over here now. Totally over here.
Tegan, tell us about Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing got an update. It's a fall update. It's cute. I'm enjoying it. I can sit down now with my friends. And I say my friends, I definitely mean my villagers. Also my friends, if my friends want to visit my town, you know.
Mhm.
As you do.
can
There's
take
also a
selfies,
bunch of
it'll
new
be cool.
hairstyles. Yeah, you can take selfies. You can take, well, I mean, you don't actually take selfies, which is also nice because the first thing I did was like walk over to a flower patch and I used the little selfie thing. And like, if I had 30 pictures suddenly on my fucking Switch of this same flower patch, I would be pissed. But, you know, they're cute. And like, if you have been maintaining a good relationship with your villagers and you flop down next to them, they'll sit there and you guys can just hang out. It's very cute. It's fun. It's a good time. It's very soft. It's very cute. The Thanksgiving is coming. Or, I'm sorry, the Harvest Day Festival. It is currently date locked, which means they're not going to release it until the actual day. And Toy Day is coming also, which is December 24th. That day is also day locked. So if you time travel ahead to try and get those items and experience those events, you will not be able to. Haha. Haha. Right now, though, all of the leaves in my town are changing to golds and reds. And there are bright red maple leaves that are floating around now, kind of like the cherry blossoms were in spring, that you can catch for special fall harvest DIYs. You can get those DIYs through the regular means, by talking to villagers or picking them up off the beach. Or you can also shoot them down in balloons. The balloons are not as populated as they were during Buddy Day. So Nintendo definitely learned their lesson, which is nice. Let's see what else. That's about it. There's the new hairstyles. I bought them. I'm not using any of them because I feel like that'd be bad, but they're cute. And it does have my favorite hairstyle, so it's tough for Tegan's. It's the one that it's like the braids into the two little poof balls. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's the cutest hair. That is absolutely the cutest hair. And I'm not using it, but I want to.
Yeah, I get that.
Because it's cute. I know. Whatever. It's okay. It's fine. It's not for me, and that's okay. It's alright to have things in games that are not for me. Yay. Anyway. That's it. I can't wait for Toy Day. I'm so excited for Toy Day. Toy Day is my favorite.
So like, I have like no
activity.
memories of Toy Day, like at all.
Okay, so what happens is Jingle, the reindeer,
Mhm.
comes and he gives you gifts. And you can't... So in the original GameCube, what happened was Jingle passed out gifts. And he like hung out in the town square or whatever, and to get all the gifts, which were all the Jingle furniture, which is the special like Christmas set,
Mhm.
you had to change your outfit into different clothes so that you could trick Jingle into thinking you were a different person.
Oh God.
That was the original thing for Toy Day. And you had to do it like a certain amount of times to get all the furniture for it. Then what happened was Jingle instead, you became like a delivery person. And Jingle would give you a gift and tell you who it was for, and you had to deliver it to them for Jingle. And then when you returned with having successfully delivered the gift, Jingle would give you a piece of furniture. This year what happens, apparently, according to the trailer, is you have to deliver things for Jingle dressed up in like a little Santa outfit. So you get a little hat, and you get a little jacket, and boots, and pants, and a Santa sack, which you then have to go around to all your villagers and deliver the gifts.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's exciting. I can't wait. I love it. I'm glad I don't have to trick Jingle anymore. It's gonna be fun. With the Harvest Festival, in the original version of the game, what you had to do was you had to steal the fork and knife because Tornamir was gonna probably cook up the turkey who was the guest.
I do remember that, actually.
Yeah, the original GameCube thing was fucking morbid and mean. It was great. Anyway, this time it looks like you're helping him make the Harvest Fest, and so, like, if you have extra pumpkins from Halloween, if you give him the pumpkins, he will make soup, and, like, that kind of stuff. So it's cute. It's cute. It's less morbid, for sure. Ugh. I'm excited. I'm very excited because I canceled. We're not doing Thanksgiving. I'm not going. You can't make me go. I told my mom today that I'm not going, and she said, okay, that's fine. And I was like, is it fine? You're really okay with it? And she's like, well, I will be bummed, but it is okay, and I understand. And I was like, good, great, appreciate it. And she said, we will no contact drop off leftovers for you. And I said, perfect, thanks. I appreciate it.
Damn, I wish my family would bring me leftovers.
No, my family lives less than a mile down the street from me, so.
That's fair.
It is much easier for them to do that.
Jeez.
I'd really go for some no-contact leftovers. That sounds so good.
Right? I can't wait for no contact leftovers. They're gonna be great. I'm gonna get all of the joys of Thanksgiving and none of the fucking work.
Okay, you know what? I can call my family about no contact leftovers. Yeah, can I share a Thanksgiving story with you guys?
Yes,
please.
Absolutely.
So, like, my family, well, you know, my parents are separated. My dad, I don't know what my dad does on Thanksgiving. I hope he's okay, but I never really dig into that much. But my mom, because my brothers live with her, usually wants to do a meal. And for a long time she did. Now she doesn't, for reasons, I guess. But she has made friends with these people who are related to, like, my second cousin aunt thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so she has, like, church friends. And their church friends have big personalities. They love the idea of hosting people at their place for generally any reason, honestly. And so they do Thanksgiving, and my mom simply attends their Thanksgiving. She brings a dish. That's usually how that goes now. And so
that's nice.
They've done it at their house for a few times. Last year, they did something a little different. First, they requested money, like a buy-in, essentially, for the Thanksgiving celebration. And then they like, after fundraising, they, like, rented out a party hall someplace in town. And they, like, held their Thanksgiving there. And it was weird. Like, I didn't understand why I was at a party hall on Thanksgiving. And the food's, you know, it was okay. It was pretty good. They do, you know, put their foot in it, as you will. But the biggest thing that I think I'm actually going to miss about this particular Thanksgiving, even though I didn't really care for, like, going to that particular celebration, is that there is a girl that shows up consistently, and she's, like, the second cutest girl I've ever met, and I'm not going to get to see her this year, and I'm kind of bummed.
Aww.
Yeah.
Does she wear sundresses?
Sometimes. It's glorious.
That is rough.
Yeah.
That is rough, buddy. I am sorry.
It's okay. I'll live. Like, you know, I'm going to make it through this year, come hell or high water. But, you know.
I mean, the good news is you're definitely going to make it through this year.
Yeah, it's true. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. Brian.
What? It's true.
Brian, you, there's been a complication with the thing that I sent you that you wanted to tell us about?
I don't view it as a complication.
Okay.
Rocky sent me a bottle of tequila as an apology. I'm still not clear as to, is this for Holiday? Are you apologizing for Holiday?
That was the bit, yeah.
Okay, that's the bit.
Yeah, the bit is that he is apologizing for our first holiday movie of our holiday watch-along season. Holiday. Look forward to that, I think, next week, actually.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, next week. Haha!
Wow.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, so we watched a movie called Holiday. Spoilers, it's a pile of shit. I mean, it's real bad.
It's real bad.
It's real bad.
It's real bad.
Enjoy it with a large bottle of wine.
I think I specifically told them, I was like, hey guys, we gotta watch this shitty, like, rom-com.
He did warn us it was a shitty rom-com. He is
Right.
correct.
Right. And I think that we were kind of viewing the threshold for shit as, like, where it was from, like, some of the stuff that we watched last year. You know, where we're like, oh, okay, like, you know, she's pretending to be the governess and tutor. And like, we somehow managed to, like, still miracle up a good time despite the fact that these movies were bad.
Right.
But Holiday comes at us with the knives out and, like, just, like, full force. And it was very, very bad. And it was so bad that, like, I ended up in a Wikipedia spiral and...
A very funny Wikipedia spiral.
It was a funny movie.
Yeah. And, you know, like, and I'm not going to tell you how, listeners, like, in order to know, you're going to have to watch the watch-along. But somehow we angrily and reasonably got from Holiday to Friday the 13th, Part 8.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, like, in a way that makes total fucking sense. Like, it just... But you'll have to watch in order to understand. What the fuck? So we watched the movie, and there were... I don't know what moment was that, like, Rocky knew I was broken. And that the movie had broke me. But, like, when we got to the end, like, Rocky's like, I apologize to you both.
I think it was, well, I didn't actually apologize that night. Oh, wait, actually I did. No, well, I mean, I gave, like, you know, light apologies, and Tegan actually rejected that apology, which, you know, was fair.
I did, yeah.
But
I was like, that's not a real apology, and that's fine.
the moment that I knew Brian was broken is when he found the director on Facebook and was contemplating sending her an angry message.
Oh, that was a thing that happened. Oh my god, you're right.
No, not an angry message, a friend request. Like,
That's
first
also
of all,
that.
don't make me sound like an asshole. I was like,
Sorry.
I want to do an interview. I was like, I want to interview this person.
I think the actual quote was, she has to answer for this.
And she does. Like, it's fair. Like, you know, it's like, much like Frost interviewed Nixon, she needs to answer. Like, I'm not going to be rude. I'm just going to, like, ask for explanations of certain decisions. I want to be like, the scene with the firecracker on July 4th. Can you walk me through all of the decisions?
You mean with Sam? With Uncle Sam? Like,
God damn it, motherfucker. You know, like...
And this is how you know it's a good, bad movie, is where, like, Brian's already upset about it, and we're just barely referencing it.
yeah.
Right. Or like, can you please walk me through the Cinco de Mayo sequence? Can you please just...
They dance to Tequila.
Fuck. And so, like...
They do dance to Tequila.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
That is a thing that happens in this movie, guys.
And so, like, Rocky decided that to apologize, that he was going to send me a bottle of mezcal.
Well, to be clear, Brian did demand an apology, and he expected that he gets tequila, and then later expanded to a mezcal, and then it better be a very smoky mezcal.
Okay.
I
Now-
assume he took notes while he was editing, and that's how he knows exactly what you said.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things where, like, a lot of times in life you don't expect when the bit becomes real.
I mean, I think most times in life, I never expect when a bit becomes real.
Yeah.
Right.
It just
Because-
happens. And I'm
because-
like, what?
There's a thing that Rocky has said before, you know, both socially, and I think he said it a couple times on the show.
Yeah.
You know, like, I only accept apologies in the form of sushi.
Right.
Which is, like, led to, like, this kind of, like, amusing bit where, like, occasionally Tegan and I will, like, say we only accept apologies in the form of fill-in preposterous thing here, because we're like, okay, well, if Rocky only accepts apologies in the form of sushi, well, then I only accept apologies in the form of fill-in preposterous thing here, because it's like, it's a bit on top of a bit. It's a bit about a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, you know, it's like, well, I only accept, you know, apologies in the form of a smoky mezcal, you know, and then my fucking doorbell rings. And
Great.
yeah.
The realization of the bit is the best part of this bit.
Does this mean it ceased to be a bit, or does it mean that it's even more of a bit now? Like, I am trapped inside of a comedy probability sphere. I am Schrodinger's bit. And so, like, inside of this container, Also, the delivery driver totally broke Arizona state law because they just fucking left it. They did not wait for a signature. They did not check any IDs. They just fucking ding-dong ditched this tequila.
They're just like, I'm not playing with this. I don't care.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it. Whatever. So, like, I open it, and, like, on the bill of lading for this bottle of tequila, it had a spot for a notes field. And Rocky has written a fucking note. There's like this little like sincere apology note, and like my wife is there going, "What did he do?"
Oh my god!
And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh my god! I can't believe there's a real note. Oh god.
And so I guess to get to the thing is that like words have meaning, especially in the liquor industry, which is a hilarious thing to say, but like. There are types of liquor where, like, the specific definition of liquor is very viciously, defended because it has to do with, like, how it's produced, where it's produced, which is why, like, champagne doesn't just refer to, like, the method of production, but also the location of production. And, you know, that's why, like, it's a California sparkling white, not a champagne, you know, like, that kind of thing. You know, like, and tequila is one of those words, and mezcal is one of those words. And so I am here to report that the thing that Rocky sent me is in fact a tequila, but it is not a mezcal. Now, that said, fucking delicious. Like, easily one of the best tequilas I have ever had. Like, absolutely phenomenal. Carrera Reposado, like, amazing bottle. In fact, like, Rocky, you got to tell me where you ordered that from, because like I've been looking around for it again.
I mean, like, you can order from the store that was like on the box, because once again, it's a local like Arizona like liquor distributor.
He found a spot near you too. Wild.
Yeah, like I looked and I saw that like it's available at Bevmo, but like Bevmo, I would have to go pick it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like yeah, Carrera, very good. Lots of citrus on the nose, very floral. Like the taste notes are definitely very smoky. Little chocolate, little tobacco. Like it's and the best part is like, and I know that like you've had some in the past, Rocky, because everybody's had some. You know bad tequila, right?
I do know bad tequila.
The where like you just get it and like it like what's left in your mouth is just this sensation of like a mouthful of oil.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, but like it's just so light. It's so effervescent. It's just like it just fucking disappears in your mouth while it's still in your mouth. You're just like, oh my god, you know. Like I just think about the scene in Community. The vice dean of the air conditioning repair school takes Troy into
played by
John Goodman. Yeah, he takes him into the room temperature room, and he's like, I can't tell where my skin ends and the air begins. And that's a lot like drinking that tequila. Like it's like, oh god, like this is the perfectly balanced tequila. It's good. So like, big ups, Rocky. Like, you know, word to the wise. Like if I ever buy you fucking sushi, it's not going to be as good as this tequila was. Like I just there's no way I could top it. Like you killed it. You slayed it. You
set the bar too high.
That was like my third choice, Brian. I couldn't even pick the first two. But also, I'm less mad with the mezcal thing. That's my fault. I'm a dummy. But I'll figure it out next time.
Very tasty tequila. Not a mezcal, but a tequila. It's a good time. Strong reco. Good job, Rocky. It was a delicious bit. Their website was a mess. I went to Carrera Tequila's website.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a bad website. Fuck them.
Oh my God. Like,
please hire a web developer.
Tegan, it is long past. That is like, get out the blasting caps and start over.
Really?
Yeah, pick a new URL. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I feel like I have other things I need to yell about this week. But I also saw that, like... that's a thing to yell about. That stupid fucking Twitter trend. I wanted to yell about this. Last week, for our listeners, there was a Twitter trend that went around where they would like write a Twitter post like, I didn't just take a big shit. And then underneath it, they would like force the post to conform to like smaller, bolder text. And then put the like information circle beside it. Be like, sources dispute this claim. Like, ha ha, I'm telling you I took a big shit, but underneath it I put sources dispute this claim. And that's a bit, but like it was one of those things where like after it happened once, when everybody's doing it, you're no longer creating a joke. And the problem is that this meme, this careless, reckless meme, actually had an impact on usability for Twitter for the blind. Because when in a web browser, if you force the display of a particular font, meaning that you're not just letting the web browser display the default font, both iOS and Android, the way their text-to-voice readers respond to that is that with each individual letter, the text-to-voice readers have to announce the font. So if you write sources dispute this, then for each letter of that sentence, it has to announce the font. And so, like, when you have a Twitter feed which is full of that shit, like, let's say it's, like, irritating once, but, like, if you have, like, a day or two, and, like, there were, like, a day or two where it was, like, absolutely rampant on Twitter. Like, it was everywhere. And, like, I was really just appalled at, like, the number of people that, like, I encountered who, like, you know what I mean by that segment of Twitter, which is people who are wearing sunglasses and their user picture is a selfie in their front seat of their vehicle?
Yep.
Like, it was not those people. It was not those people. It was, like, people that, like, if you went and scrolled through the history of their feed, like, you saw they're like, oh, look, I'm out here voting for Bernie, or, like, I voted for Biden. Like, you know, like, people who, like, the history in their feed is, like, you know, at worst, like, liberal politics, at best progressive politics, but like when confronted with the fact that they had done something that was like creating a negative web experience for the disabled, their reaction was, whatever, it's funny and creative. And I'm just like, what is wrong with people? What is wrong with these fucking nightmare people? Like, how do you just, like, you know, like, if you're so attached to the joke, screenshot the joke and repost it as a JPEG. Like, if you want to tell the joke about you taking a big shit and people disputing it, just put it up as a fucking JPEG. Be like, haha. But, like, the number of people who are just like, oh, well, like, I don't care if I'm making the web harder to navigate for the blind. Like, I just like, what is fucking wrong with you? Like, how do you get here? Like, why are you okay with being this way? Like, and I don't know if I'm overreacting to this, but like, I was just appalled at the number of people who were like, hey, my interest in intersectionality stops at my desire to make a Twitter joke. Like, just, fuck. Am I too appalled? I'm letting you guys be like my litmus test here.
I don't think you're too appalled. Because it is shitty. However, I don't know from an advocate point of view what the best route to take is. Because we're not part of that community, and I don't know how much you particularly interact with that community. I don't know that just, like, yelling at brands is gonna be the way to address that you know? In a way that isn't just performative, you know?
Well, the people I was yelling at was not just brands.
Well, I know. I understand, but, like, the majority of things that I saw when it was going on were brands, not, like, my IRL friend groups.
Okay. And I definitely saw, you know, like, people that I follow, like, friends of mine who were like, check this thing.
Oh, yeah, you definitely want to call out your friends.
Right.
Like, good on you for that, but I don't know. Most of what I saw was brands, and, like, I don't know what the best way to...
And if the mission of every shitpost a brand makes on the internet is to try and endear themselves and to trick people into thinking that they're a human, be like, love us and treat us like a people, you know, even if they don't take the post down, then I guess it is helpful for them to know, like, no, you did not endear yourself and trick me into thinking you're a fucking person by doing this. Like, your mission as a brand to get me to trust you non-human thing more failed. You did the opposite of succeed by doing this. I guess that's my thing. Like, even if the net result doesn't, in that particular instance, achieve my hope, which is, more accessible Twitter for the blind, I am letting the brand know, by doing this, you failed at your mission of being a brand. Your goal to sit here with your fucking Twitter account is to try and, like, get me to trust you, and to try to, like, treat the things that you say as a brand or as things that can be, like, accepted without questioning. Like, nope, none of that worked. You did a thing to be like, haha, I'm human, and, like, it didn't work out. You only emulated humanity in as far as that you did something selfish and stupid without consideration for other people. So in that way, you successfully, emulated humanity, but it doesn't make me love you anymore. So fuck yourself.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, like, even if they don't take action, it lets them know that, like, users are disappointed in the behavior. Like, I don't ever expect WWE to stop going to Saudi Arabia, taking the Saudi blood money to put on shows for, like, their travel tourism department and, like, the national propaganda department. But, like, I will happily, every time they tweet about one of their Saudi shows, respond and let them know that the Saudi shows are part of the reason that I no longer consume their products. Because, like, what's the thing say? Like, like, if you walk down the beach shoving every starfish up your ass, you may not get every starfish up there, but at least you got some. Is that how it goes?
Sending a starfish up your ass a desirable outcome?
I don't know. Maybe if you're into it. I'm not going to kink shame anybody on this show.
Fair enough.
Okay. You guys, you're getting what I'm putting down.
Yeah. No, I'm picking it up and I understand it, but, like, and I don't want to say this is, like, the job of, like, professional advocates and that sort of thing, but, like,
it's definitely not, and I will loudly.
I would like to know from someone who is an advocate, like, what the best course of action to do in that sort of situation is. And I understand, like, calling out the brands and stuff, and, like, obviously calling out your friends is like an important thing. And that's something you can do easily. But, like, when trying to address a brand or someone who has a large following, like an influencer, how do you do that in a way that's productive?
Fuck off. Like, all right, and I don't mean fuck off you. I mean fuck off the idea that, like, brands get treated as being, like, above and not held responsible for their behavior.
That's not what that is.
No, it's just how do you do it in a way that is the most effective for what you're trying to do.
I'm not going to sing and dance. I'm like, hey, brand, like, I'm not going to.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, is it Twitter that's the best way to do it? Do you have to write to their HR representative? Is that the best way to actually address it? Like, how do you get it to the person who needs to see it to know that something bad happened on their brand? How is it that you address that directly as opposed to just performatively?
I don't think it's okay. So, I mean, the thing is that, like, an individual Twitter account is ultimately going to be run by, like,
an intern or something. Sure.
Yeah, like a person or people with access to the account, and so, like, they are the people who. All right, do you guys, or do you know about United States Army base Fort Bragg? Did you hear about this thing that happened with the Fort Bragg's Twitter account a couple weeks ago?
No.
Okay. So a couple of weeks ago, Fort Bragg's Twitter account for the Army base Fort Bragg.
Sure.
Responded to the Twitter feed of a person with an OnlyFans, and they did so from the Fort Bragg account and was like, I want to smell your hairy pussy.
It's not a Hall of Fame move.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I mean, that depends on what Hall of Fame it is, Rocky. Like, I want to lay down on the ground and look up at your tits. And they did so from the Fort Bragg account, and gorsh, did it sure get the Fort Bragg account a lot of attention that day. And that's because the Fort Bragg Twitter account was, like, being run by one fucking person, and they forgot to log into the wrong account to respond to something.
Right.
And, like, even in situations where, like, there are Twitter accounts for, like, very large entities, very frequently the Twitter accounts are day-to-day still administered by a single person who has to, like, make a choice about how people are reacting socially to the things that they post.
Sure.
And meaning that, like, that person is still making a decision saying, like, okay, like, I've been told. It's a thing that you can corroborate with, like, very little research. Like, a single Google search can let you know that, like, there are text-to-voice issues with, like, forcing text to conform or special characters. So, like, you can, with very little research, like, if someone brings it to your attention, find that out, and then remove the post.
Right.
Understandable, but I don't think there's any one intern who is sitting there reading every single response to that social media post, you know? So that's why I'm wondering if there's a more direct way to address that.
Well, like, even if they are, right? Like, yelling at them specifically on Twitter does what, right? Like, maybe it makes them feel a little bad, and maybe that's enough for them to not do it again, and maybe that works. But, like, also, like, if it gets enough attention, like, what does that do? That gets them more people looking at it, more metrics, more people paying attention to the account, and maybe even more followers and a larger audience. Like, that's not a punishment on Twitter. It's not.
I mean, Wendy's literally grew their audience by being shitty to other brands on Twitter. That's a thing that happened.
And, like, I'm not sure, like, what the actual, like, response is, but ripping into people on Twitter seems just kind of like the cost of business of being on Twitter rather than being an actual punishment. I'm not saying that it feels good for the user base. I'm just saying if someone rips into you on Twitter, that's kind of the end of it. And, like, you may actually benefit from it if you gain enough sympathy or whatever. And, like, for brands, it's not hard to do if they have an audience that's already paying attention to them.
Where I get frustrated, things move so quickly on Twitter.
Sure.
That, like, let's say I do something which, like, I go file an M9 report and send it to their office of we don't give a fuck, and this email will be endlessly forwarded between 18 people who don't give a fuck.
Right.
Before it ultimately ends up in the 19th email inbox, which is that same intern who runs the Twitter. By that point, so much time has elapsed that they don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I agree.
Yeah. They're just like, whatever. Anything that has to happen on Twitter has to be approached with a sense of, like, crisis emergency, because, like, what's important on Twitter right now will very likely not be important on Twitter 12 hours from now. Now, in this particular case, this thing, like, spread around like a virus for, like, two whole days. Like, there were 2 whole days where, like, this thing was a spike strip on Twitter. But, like, I guarantee you that, like, sitting there and, like, writing some fucking abject, scraping, begging letter to a company is not going to do anything.
Which is something that no one's suggested thus far, but go off.
You know, like, just like, oh, please, could you please treat humans like humans? Thank you so much. Like, just, oh, God. All right.
Okay, I have to say,
yes.
I worked in corporate communications. I did do a thing where I edited, before posting, the tweets that would end up on our Twitter. That was part of my job. And that email would end up on my desk, and then I would have to analyze every single tweet that came up and say, is this going to impact ability readers? That would become part of the process. And my question is, how do we make it so that that is part of the process for not shitheads? That's what I want to know. How do we get it to the people who need to see it, who can actually make a difference? I was responsible for changing hashtags that the brand I was working for wanted to use on the website because I had to research what the hashtag was and what would actually come up under it, because they were like, oh yeah, this will be a cute hashtag. And I had to go through and go, look on my Twitter and see what comes up under this hashtag to make sure it, like, meshed with what we were trying to do. Mm-hmm. That is a thing that someone is actually paid to do. That is a paid position. So how do we get the person who is in that paid position, who is not the person formulating the tweets, but the person who has to ultimately approve the tweet? How do we get that person on board with understanding that that's a problem for disability readers? How do we do that? That's the person I want to address.
Okay.
And, like, that's not a, hey, this is a, please, will you please change this because it, that's a, hey, you're doing a shitty thing, it's hard for people, and it limits your fucking reach, fix it. That's all you have to do. I want to know how to contact that person, what is the best way to contact that person, What is the language I have to use that understands that this may have potential repercussions as far as discrimination and like that sort of thing, so that the corporate freaks out just enough to make it so that someone has to go, hey, when you're reviewing tweets, make sure they don't contain X, Y, and Z thing.
Okay. All right.
That's all I want to know how to do. And that's from someone who had to do that. And I don't know how those emails got to me. I don't know where they came from. I don't know who submitted them. But I do know that eventually my director and my manager and like our team had to sit down and said, hey, we can't include X, Y, and Z thing anymore when we're trying to do this because of this thing we got.
And from a different side, one of the things I did at a previous job, when I worked for a company, I worked at PayPal for 8.5 years. They threw me out like garbage one day. Anyway, I'm going to talk about a thing I did there. That like we would, with lightning speed, like if people got on the Twitter and added us and said, hey, PayPal, you do business with person X is an actual Nazi, then like it would get sent to our brand risk team in a matter of moments. And the thing that would like drive it to the brand risk team was just like people climbing on Twitter and adding us and saying like person X is an actual Nazi. You guys just don't know that he's a Nazi. And like our social media team was like a single layer deep. That was it. For like issues like that. You know, it'd be like, okay, like, so this is a thing, and, or someone's like, hey, guys, I ordered, $4,000 riding mower, which has heated seats and a blowjob attachment from this company, and my $4,000 blow and mower still hasn't shown up. Like, it would get sent to, like, you know, depending on how many people were saying that, either like a single issue response team, or if like it appeared to be that the business was collapsing my department. But again, that was only like a single layer deep. Now, what you're talking about, Tegan, here is a little bit more complex because it's actually about the way the social media team itself is communicating.
Functions.
Exactly.
Right. And that's going to depend a lot on the individual company, because not all companies have social media team. A lot of times, it's just some corpcom person who's been fucking put in charge of Twitter,
right.
You know? And like, ours was, like, it was part of our marketing team, but our marketing team also wasn't necessarily responsible for doing, like, or maybe they just didn't know how to look for all of the intricacies of the internet, you know? Who knows? But, like, we edited some tweets, and I looked at it, and I said, we can't use that hashtag. And someone said, why? And I said, that's gonna get us on the kink side, and we don't want to be there. And they went, oh, will it? And then I had to go into a room with a director who was, like, as old as my dad, and I had to pull up my Twitter, and I had to type in the hashtag to show him exactly what came up. And he was like, oh, well, that's not appropriate for the work environment. And I said, no, it's not!
They're doing this special.
Can we not do this?
Oh.
He had to have a meeting with the marketing director and have a conversation with them so that they could go back down to the marketing team that came up with it, because nobody fucking thought to look for 2 seconds. Like, no one did that Google search.
And so, like, then I guess, like, here's a larger topic where you could say, like, well, that's obvious, Brian, geez. If you as a company are unwilling to devote the resources to, like, your social media outreach in order to be able to do so, like, responsibly, then maybe you need to confine your marketing to, like, different channels.
Honestly, yeah.
Well, yeah, but, like, once again, that's a thing that, like, the market has to, like, teach them, right? Like, it's not like, if people are just, like, shitty and, like, they have a small audience and it's not hostile, it doesn't really matter. Like, they're just gonna keep sending out their tweets. It will be ineffective, and they'll continue to pay their shitty intern, or maybe not. Maybe that intern doesn't get paid. But, like, my personal position is that if there's going to be social media opposition versus brands, it has to actually hurt them. And we have to be sure that that's what it's doing. Because if not, we may actually just be wasting our time, if not empowering our opponent.
I'd say it's the same with influencers too, because there are people who literally thrive off of like people fucking shitting the bed, you know? That's why fucking Jake and Logan Paul have such a huge following still. That's why PewDiePie has a huge following still. That's why Jeffree Star has a huge following still. People like it when people are shitty, and so you have to figure out exactly how to get it at them so that they can change their way. And for people that, like, for companies that don't maybe have the strongest grasp on their social media and how that's all working, for individual influencers who may not understand that sort of thing, like, you have to figure out exactly how to get them that isn't going to benefit them by causing a stink, you know? Because some people just fall for the Twitter drama.
Right.
And that's not what we want to do. We don't want to be like, hey, I'm one person yelling about this thing, you know? You have to figure out...
accidentally creating hydras and shit.
Right, exactly. You have to figure out exactly how to... We have to exacto knife it a little better. And it's figuring out exactly how to exacto knife it. And that's why I'm like, maybe we need to reach out to an advocacy group to figure out exactly how to do that. But, like, I am interested in how to exactly do that.
I do acknowledge that it is frustrating how, like, opponents can be, you know, essentially careless, and that's what we want to punish them for. But we have to be careful in our act of punishing them because their potential outcome is a lot more beneficial to them than it is to us. And, like, we're the one putting in more effort. That's shitty. I do hate that, but I can't pretend it's not real.
Right, and there are definitely ways where, like, sometimes it works in our favor, sometimes it doesn't. Like, earlier this year when the McElroy brothers found out that the company that was publishing their Adventure Zone comics wasn't paying the artists a fair amount, they got pissed. They were vocal about it on Twitter, how they were going to address it, how they were going to pay the artists out of their own pockets to make up the difference for what they should have been paid, how they were going to adjust their contract with the company to make sure that the artists got paid, or else they were going to go with somebody else, like, take their shit and go. And, like, having a platform and using it to show care is a better way to do it. But, like, we don't have that kind of platform, you know? Or we would call out brands for being shitty all the time.
I'll build a platform. I don't
do
care.
it. I mean, we're trying. We're trying to build a platform. And we got a little one, but, like, it's not enough to affect the kind of change that we would need to change, you know?
Oh, God. That's right. We're gonna build a platform big enough to take over the ESA. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
That's what we're going to do, and I'm going to be in charge.
Yeah, that's right. Tegan called first. She called dibs on the president job.
I did. I called dibs on the presidency, and I'm going to be as ruthless as I am in Among Us. I'm going to be an absolute nightmare woman, and no one's going to like me, and I don't care.
And can Rocky be president of Twitter, and I'll be president of calendars.
Oh, God.
Yes, absolutely. You can be in charge of all of my calendars. I will tell you when I need to be free.
Fantastic.
Schedule everything around these particular days. We're not doing anything on those days.
And to the one person listening who's like, ha ha, Brian just did a Venture Brothers bit. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
I've never seen the Venture Brothers.
Venture Brothers is alright.
Yay! I don't know anything about anything. It's cool. Anyway.
It's a funny show. Let's see here. Well, let's fucking see what I have left to talk about. At least one of these I need to talk. And I need to get some towels out. I need to oil up. I'm putting on a gold medallion.
Oh, disgusting.
I've got on the short bathrobe, which shows off my body. I'm swanging. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know which one it is. I don't want to be here anymore.
Okay.
I thought I was going to go for Turkish oil wrestling for a second, but
okay,
switch it up on me.
So, like, IO Interactive, probably one of my favorite developers. They are the people behind the beautiful Hitman games. And for years, people have been like, man, I can't think of a developer better suited for the James Bond IP than IO Interactive. One of the guys at IO, a fellow named Clemens, whenever Clemens tweets the eyeballs emoji, it's historically been a hint about something that IO is going to do. And a year ago, when the trailer for No Time to Die, the new Bond movie, premiered, Clemens tweeted the eyeball emoji. And people were like, no. And people were like, you gotta believe. And it's like, no. Like, And then a year passed. And then this week, IO revealed, like, what's been going on. Because, like, they opened a second studio. Like, they have the studio now in Denmark, and they have it now. Now they have a... People forget, like, you can just drive across a fucking bridge from, like, Denmark into Sweden.
Yep.
So there's the studio in Sweden now. And... Which doesn't even really fucking matter now, because, like, everybody at IO is work from home. Thanks, Rona. But, like, they revealed what the second studio has been working on. They're like, yep, it's an IP that we've never worked with before. It's a new IP. And it's Project 007. It's a James Bond game about Bond getting inducted by MI6 and getting his 00 designation. And so it's not tied to any Bond film. I'm like, oh man. It just, like, all of the different stuff that they do mechanically is just, like, perfectly suited to fucking Bond. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. I'm so excited. I need to change my pants right now. Like, just Jesus. Jesus. Like, just so rarely a developer who is so perfectly suited for an IP actually get to work with the IP. Like, I squealed like a baby when I saw the teaser. I clapped. I like little baby clap, like sitting in the high chair having fun, like spread finger clap, like it was just like big smile.
Oh, little baby Brian.
Yeah, and I was like, yay. I was like, oh yay, fun isn't dead, hope is alive, you know, like I was super stoked. Mega stoked.
For sure.
Man. So that's a thing. Do either of you give a shit about this at all?
I think it's cool. There hasn't been a James Bond game in a while. IO Interactive seems to be the type of people that could make a good Bond game. And the fact that it's not tied to a particular film seems like a nice bit of creative license that I could trust IO Interactive with. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, like there have been moments within like the Hitman franchise recently where they have specifically tipped their hat to like Bond as a franchise. Like making some choices, like the whole like Paris mission in the first of the new Hitman trilogy, which like specifically has like 47 wandering around in a classy tuxedo, and the villains in that level are very much designed to be very reminiscent specifically of like Bond villains. Like Victor Novikov like is cut from the same cloth as like a Bond villain. In Sapienza, the moment where you get into the lab where the virus is being developed, it plays this like musical sting, which like sounds very much like Bond music. The whole experience of like, you know, skulking through the virus lab is like very Bond movie. And so like I can't wait to see where they go where they don't have to like hint around those influences and they can like lean into it. Especially since like there's so much about the Hitman universe, which is already like very obviously directly influenced by Bond. You know, like, I mean, come on, he's Agent 47. What the fuck? Like, you know, like the secret organization, you know, the secret evil organization that like, you know, like Shadow is attempting to ruin the world. Like very, very obviously, like has that feeling of you're like Telly Savalas or Donald Pleasance in the Connery Bond films, just like looking to blow shit up from inside of a volcano. One thing I'm really hoping for is I want customizable Bond. I want to be able to select which Bond I am. I want to be able to pick either like Bond specific to this game. You know, like I want like this game Bond. I also want to be able to select Sean Connery if I want Sean Connery. I want to select George Lazenby if I want George Lazenby. I want Roger Moore if I'm in that kind of weird mood. So like give me selectable Bonds. Give me a create a Bond. I want a Bond car. I'm sorry. I guess if you're creating a Bond, it's a cab. Give me a cab mode. Give me a create a Bond so I can make my own Bond. So like I'm stoked. Can't wait. If you haven't watched the trailer yet, you know, folks at home, go watch the trailer. Get hard as a rock. It'll be great. I'm not going to talk about Star Trek Discovery right now. I think I will probably talk about it next week because they're going to do something next week which looks pretty super duper exciting. And like, I recently went off on Star Wars, and this and considering that like Star Trek is like much closer to my heart, I kind of like owe the world going off on Star Trek. So this is me officially putting a pin in that and saying like, wait for it.
This is Brian with his eyes emoji.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. But I guess we've got stuff to talk about.
News music goes here. We're not doing news, but you know.
Yeah, news music
News
goes here.
music. Hey, this is Rocky. You guys know who I am. I edit the show. I'm also part of Possible Coin. So we did play the news music just now, but I made some mistakes. Mistakes were made. And this episode became way too long. That's probably why you'll see that there's 2 files this week. And so this is going to be the tail end of the first part of this week's episode. I accept full responsibility. I will not be sending any of you tequila. But, you know, hang out with us. We're going to talk about the nominees for the Game Awards, and we have some opinions. And it takes a while for them to simmer. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Later.